The USDA's Natural Resources Conservation Service is a valuable partner for farmers and ranchers who want to protect their land and their water. Let's see how the NRCS provided an Alabama family with the technical and financial assistance they needed to reach their personal goals.
Father and son Stanley and Andy Sumners are the second and third generation of their family to live and farm in this part of northeast Alabama. And they've raised South Pole cattle since 2006, a breed developed by Teddy Gentry, who is best known as a member of the band Alabama.
South Pole breed was developed by Teddy Gentry in the early to mid 90s, and he developed a cow that he felt was optimal on a grass-fed operation. South Pole is made up of Barzona, Hereford, Centerpole, and Red Angus. It's a four-way composite.
We have a registered full-blood herd of South Pole cattle, about 100 mama cows, and we produce seed stock for the South Pole breeders. The guys that we've been selling our steers to have seemed to be well satisfied with them. We've had customers that's come back year after year to, get more South Poles. Seem like their customers enjoy eating the South Pole beef, and so it's just worked great for us.
The Sumners believe that properly managing their operations' natural resources, like the soil and water, contributes to the success of their cattle business.
We want to make the wisest use of our resources. We absolutely don't want to destroy any resource or waste any resource. We always want to make sure it's sustainable, and what we take out, we be sure and put back into the land. And we want the land to be healthy, and soil healthy. I mean, that's everything to us here on the farm, is how good the soil is, the ability to grow grass.
Over the years, the Sumners have worked with USDA's Natural Resources Conservation Service to better manage the farm's soil and water. The NRCS team evaluated the operation and offered advice on practices that could help improve their resources. One important early step was to implement a strip grazing plan, which uses movable electric fencing to confine the cattle in a small section of pasture for a short time.
When I say strip grazing, we're talking anywhere from 1/4 of an acre to 1/3 of an acre for about 50 head of cattle. The way we do it on our farm, we turn the cattle end on that 1/3 of an acre, and we limit graze them. In other words, we're out there, and according to the depth of the forage that exist out there, we may allow the cattle to stay out there 30 minutes or 45 minutes, hardly ever an hour, but we just sort of watch. We want the cattle to eat about 1/3 of the forage out there, just that top third, which is very nutritious, and they enjoy eating that. And we move them strip by strip across the field, and within about 3 to 4 weeks, we're back to that original strip. And if we've got decent moisture and all, it's ready to graze again.
Overgrazing is still probably one of our biggest resource concerns that we have. Results in greatly diminished root systems of the plants. And so rotational grazing, even on some intensity scale, whether it's high or low, allows the plants to replenish their root reserves so they get more production coming back. They're able to recover better, and we have better infiltration from that. It helps to reduce compaction. It helps reduce runoff. And so we're improving our nutrient management as well as our grazing.
We've seen now that with our grazing management practices and all, that we can make the soil better over the whole entire farm. I can come out here at any time and just we've done a little test with a rod, and I can push a rod down, 4 or 5 feet in the ground with just one hand. And that tells me that the soil is really good. I can come out here with a shovel, and the whole shovelful is going to have just lots and lots of earthworms, grub worms, and you can see the kind of the canals is what I call them in the soil. And the roots is down in there too. And that tells me that I've got some good soil.
For a grazing plan to really work, cattle need access to a reliable water source. So NRCS helped the Sumners install water troughs and heavy use pads to help protect the land and to allow for better distribution of cattle within the pastures.
We devised a plan, and we tried to put something in that would give them a good quality water source and allow them to better utilize this part of the farm. We tied into the municipal system up at the barn, run the pipeline down, and put our water trough and heavy use area in. Heavy use areas are very important, and this aspect is because of the mud. You get into the wintertime, you can have a mud factor. It's just not good for cattle to be standing in. We've gone to putting in the concrete heavy use areas, gives cattle a good stable pad to stand on. There's no mud problems, just seems to work a lot better here.
NRCS offers not only technical and design support, but also cost sharing to help put plans into practice.
Financial systems, it just makes things a little bit more achievable. I think the bottom line on these farms are so razor thin between profit and loss. I think it just gives them an incentive to put in practices where they may not have done it otherwise.
Me and my wife got married in 1975, which seems like a long time ago now. We were able to buy the 40-acre old cotton farm that was next door to us, which it didn't have any pasture on at all. NRCS cooperated with me and done cost share on planting permanent pasture in that field there. And even today, I'm still grazing cattle on that original fescue pasture. So that meant everything to us because we were just starting out from scratch.
At the Sumner's farm, the land and cattle are healthy and thriving, and they believe that other farmers and ranchers can benefit from NRCS financial and technical assistance for their own conservation projects.
It needs to be something that they're passionate about, something that they want to do. Sometimes I think where our role comes in is to kind of show them some things they may not have thought about or seen or wanted to do, and try to steer them in the right direction. Ultimately, it is their decision on how they put practices in, how they manage their farm.
At the end of the day, we were able to have a few more cattle on the farm due to what practices that we implement here on the farm. And in turn, that gives us a little bit more, return on the farm.
They're willing to work with us. If we want something changed or do something different, they can come up with a technical type plan that sometimes I wouldn't even understand how to do it, but they have the ability to show us some different ways to divide up pastures, the water capabilities, and how to make it work with our grazing plan. So NRCS has been great to work with.
Reporting from Alabama, I'm Russell Nimitz for NCBA's Cattleman to Cattleman.